Hello children, today we are going to see the living world of plants part 3. So in our previous classes we have seen what is a habitat and what are the different types of habitat. So today we are going to see the terrestrial habitat. So under the types of habitat we are going to see terrestrial habitat. What is this terrestrial habitat includes? Actually, terrestrial habitat is the habitat that found on land. It may be any landforms. What are the different landforms? We have forest, grassland, desert, etc. So, all these comes under terrestrial habitat. Are you clear? So, what is a terrestrial habitat? All the landforms on earth. What are the different landforms on earth? Forest, grassland and desert. So there are the different landforms. Are you clear? So they come under the terrestrial habitat. So they can be as big as a continent or as small as an island. It may be a big one or it may be a small one. So it may be any landform. Any landforms on earth are called as terrestrial habitat. Are you clear? Next, we are going to see what are the different types of terrestrial habitat. Forest, grassland and desert. What are the different types of terrestrial habitat? They are forest, grassland, desert. So, terrestrial habitat is classified into 3 types. Terrestrial habitat is classified into 3 types. What are they? Forest, grassland, desert. Are you clear? Now, let us move on to forest habitat. Forest is a large area dominated by trees. What do you see in a forest? Mostly it is dominated by trees, isn't it? So, forest is an area dominated by trees. Then, there are 3 different types of forest. What are they? They are mountain forest, temperate forest, tropical forest. What are the 3 different types of forest habitat? Mountain forest, temperate forest and tropical forest. Are you clear? Now, what about the rainfall in that particular forest? The annual rainfall will range from 25 to 200 centimeter. It means what? It will have heavy rainfall. It will have heavy rainfall. Are you clear? So, forest habitat will receive more amount of rain. Are you clear? Next, we'll move on to the grassland habitat. So, grassland is an area where vegetation is dominated by grasses. Grassland is an area where vegetation is dominated by grasses. So, these grasses ranges from short to tall. There may be a short grass or it may be a tall grass. So, it may range from a short grass to a tall grass. Are you clear? So, example for the grassland habitat is savanna grassland. Are you clear? Next, we'll move on to the desert habitat. A habitat without much water. Can you see more water in the desert? No. Desert is a habitat where there is less amount of water. So deserts are the driest place on earth. They are the driest place on the earth. They get less than 25 centimeters of annual rainfall. So they receive very minimum amount of rainfall annually. Are you clear? These deserts, they cover at least 20% of the earth. So in our earth, we have about 20% of desert. Are you clear? The plants which grow in this habitat have thick leaves that can able to store water and minerals. So these plants are adapted to that dry situation. So they will have very thick succulent leaves where they can store water and minerals. Are you clear? So examples are cactus. So these cactus, they store water in their stem and leaves, and their leaves are reduced into spines. The leaves are reduced into spines. They have long roots that grow very deep into the soil. Are you clear, children? You have any doubt? Now, let us move on to the types of deserts. We have about 4 different types of desert. Hot dry desert, semi-arid desert, coastal desert, cold desert. What are the different types of deserts? 4 different types of desert. Hot dry desert, semi-arid desert, coastal desert and cold desert. Are you clear, children? Let us see the examples of desert plants. So what type of plants you can see in the desert? Opuntia, agave, bryophyllum, aloe vera. So these are some of the examples of plants that grow in dry condition. These plants doesn't need more water. They need only less water and they store the water on their leaf surface. Are you clear? Now, let us move on to the plant adaptation and modification. So, next topic is plant adaptation and modification. What is this plant adaptation? Adaptations are special features in the plant which help them to survive in the habitat as they live over a long period. These plants in a specific environment have developed special features which help them to grow and live in a particular habitat. So, these plants are adapted to grow in a particular environment. So, for that, these plants will adapt some special features and they adapt to their particular environment. That is called adaptation. Are you clear? Okay. So, where do this type of plants can you see? You can see these types of adaptations of plant which live in terrestrial and desert habitat. You can see the plants which live in terrestrial and desert habitat. Are you clear? Now, let us move on to tendril climbers. What is a tendril climbers? Tendril is a twinning climbing organ. It is a twinning climbing organ of a weak stemmed plant. So, this tendril is an organ of weak stemmed plants. Some weak stemmed plants, they will have a special organ called tendril. Okay, so they help for a support. Example, sweet peas and bitter gourd. Are you clear? Now, let us move on to the twinners. What is this twinners? So here, the plants with weak stem cannot stand straight on their own. So how do they grow? They grow by climbing on a support. So they need a support to survive. Are you clear? So that is called as twinners. So here these twinners, you cannot find the tendrils. So they grow on any support. Okay. So that type of plants are called as twinners. Example, Clitoria jasmine. Are you clear, children? Now let us move on to the thorns. Leaves become wholly or partially modified into the thorns or spines. So what for they are modified? For defensive purpose. So some plants, they are modified into thorns or spines in order to protect themselves from their enemies. So here example is agave, bougainvillea, opuntia. So these plants, they develop a thorns around them. So these thorns help them from their enemies. Okay. Are you clear, children? You have any doubt in today's topic? So that's all. We come to the end of the session. We'll meet you in the next class. Thank you, my dear children.